Mr. Jax Taylor, where does one begin? Listen, we cover it all with Jax. We sat down with Jax. I find this conversation and all the parts there too so interesting. We sat down with Jax basically before the Valley was announced. He was talking about a show he was pitching. I was like, yeah, right, Jax. We all pitch a show, right? It was the Valley. Who knew? So before Scandival, before the Valley, before his separation from Brittany, we sat down with Jax. Now, I'm going over these videos. I'm going over this chat, and I find it so interesting. These have never before been seen. Well, we're going to share these with you. I find it so interesting looking back because I mean, I also don't think the Valley, no shade, would have been greenlit if it wasn't for Scandival. I've said that before. So this was before all of that. So when Jax was talking about the show he was pitching, I was like, yeah, right. Little did I know, but it's so interesting foreshadowing the Valley. And I mean, just of course, I'm reading into so many things that he says now about his marriage to Brittany, now that they're being separated. I mean, this wasn't that long ago, but this chat supersedes all of that. So, did we see Easter eggs in there? Did we see some foreshadowing? I don't know, but let's listen. Let's see what we can find out.
That's the real version is when they shut it off now, because then we all go to hang out with who we want to hang out
Was that awkward at Sheena's wedding? Right. Because there was like, I know you were there and Brittany and Kristen, like the fact that you guys were there and they were filming, like, was it like, did you know it was being filmed? Was that awkward?
Oh yeah, we knew ahead of time it was being filmed. We stayed at a hotel next door. We didn't want to make it awkward for anybody. We didn't want to make anybody to feel like they had to walk on a headshell. So Brittany and I decided to stay at a hotel next door, and we said, "Hey, well, we'd love to be part of the wedding. We do not want to film." They asked us to film. They came to us. They called us like a week before. Jax and Brittany, would you guys be willing to be part of the wedding? And we declined. Um, nothing, no hard feelings. It's just we wanted to go a different way. And but we did want to be a part of Sheena's wedding if we were invited, and we were. We had a great time. Of course, I had a little bit of nerves coming in just because I'm going to see all the camera. It's more about the camera guys, the production guys, the grips, and all them. I haven't seen them in years, and they were a big part of my life for 10 years. So it was fun to see the camera guys. And it was nice to give a hug, and because like I said, they saw me when I was 25 years old, and now I'm married and kids. Like they've seen my whole life, my marriage. They were at my wedding. They've seen it all. So it was nice to see everybody again. It took about 5 minutes, maybe a couple shots of tequila, and then we were all back to normal again. But yeah, I was of course, a little nervous, but more because of the production staff and giving hugs. And I haven't seen anybody in 2 years. So it was a lot of fun, a little nervous, but it was okay. We had a great time. Sheena's wedding was absolutely beautiful, as you guys, I'm sure, will see on TV. But no, we were not on film. We declined.
And they really were like, film, please film. We want you to film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Did any part of you contemplate saying yes or no? It was just like, we're not going in that direction.
I talked it over with my wife and our team, and we just thought at this time, it just didn't really. We're just such in a good place right now, and I just didn't want to revisit certain things. And it wouldn't have made or break the show. I don't think. I think the episode's going to carry itself. It wasn't going to do anything. I know in my back of my mind what I think, and I'll keep that to myself. But I know why they wanted to do that. But no, I understand. Hey, listen, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we were a big part of the show. So having us there and being like, oh, look who's here, they were on the show. I get it, and I understand where they were coming from. And like I said, really thankful that they asked us. I was so humbled and by that. But no, it just wasn't for us. We didn't want to ruffle any feathers right now. And as far as me and Brittany, we just declined. Now, as far as Kristen, I don't know what she did. To be honest, I wasn't aware of what she did, if she filmed or not.
Well, that's so nice of you that you don't want to say it, but obviously it was for ratings. I mean, appearance by Jackson, Brittany, and Kristen, two OGs and one major character would not hurt ratings, I would assume. You can stay silent on that. Were you shocked at, we had Sheena's wedding, Tom Schwartz hooked up with Raquel. Everyone knows that. Were you shocked at this?
No, I think that's coming from somewhere else. I know Tom Schwartz better than anybody else. Personally, I think that's saying, hey, we need to spice up this episode a little bit. Who wants to make out with Tom? Like, I feel like that's where that was coming from. In fact, I would pretty much bet all my money that's where that was coming from. That's not Tom Schwartz's, that's not his MO. His MO right now is like, he's taking care of his family. He's starting a new business. He just got out of a 12-year relationship with Kate, like and I talked to him, and that's meeting a girl is on the very, very bottom, underneath the bottom. That was not his thing. I personally think that was somebody coming in and saying, hey, Tom, we need something to happen here. It's kind of boring. Can you pick somebody and make out? That's where that came from. I would bet on that. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm betting on.
Wow. So you don't think there was any hookup or anything that was real?
I mean, they would have, but I think it was manufactured.
Wow.
That's not Tom. That's just not. Listen, like I said, Tom is my brother. Tom Schwartz. I know him like that. I know everything about him. He knows everything about me. I know his antics. I know everything that he does in his brain, and that's not no. That's just no.
I believe you, well, in all these things you have going on and all these shows you're pitching, you should really consider just being a TV producer, whether you're on camera or not. You have a lot of great ideas.
That's so funny you talk about that. A year and a half before we left the show, I was at the Bravo headquarters. I'm like, gosh, and I would be hanging out in the office. We'd be doing interviews, and I'd be like sneaking off and away talking to producers. I'm like, they would be telling me about shows they have coming up, and I'd be like, man, if you did this and changed this and this, and they're like, you should be a producer. I really enjoy it. Like, I really, really like it, and it has crossed my mind because I think I'm really good at it. And I think I know, just being in the world too that I've been in for so long, I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I know what people can see on TV. People aren't stupid, especially nowadays. Everyone is really intuitive on TV. They can tell what's organic, they can tell what's real, they can tell what's fake, they can tell what's manufactured. I can see that too, especially because I'm a big TLC 90 Day Fiance fan. Those are the shows that I watch. And you can tell which parts of those shows are a little manufactured. And I can say, hey, if they would have changed this, if they would have done this, they could have got rid of that wouldn't have looked so fake, or that wouldn't look so manufactured. And I think it's just something I kind of really like. I really enjoy it. And I used to tease with some of the producers back in the day. I'm like, I'm going to be coming working here when I'm done with the show. But it's definitely not out of the question. If they asked me, I would probably join tomorrow. I love it. I love being behind the camera instead of front of the camera. I just think I'm better at that, to be honest.
Do you think this whole narrative too, that like Katie was all upset at like Sheena, she's blaming Sheena for Tom and Raquel quote unquote hooking up, which I know you said you think was staged. Do you think that's part of the narrative too, of like, let's create drama? I mean, there seems to be a lot of drama surrounding the new season of VPR with all these people all at once, right?
I don't want to get myself in trouble here.
Well, you're just talking to me, so you won't get in trouble.
Yeah, I listen. You know what? I understand what a show has to do. I understand that they're I don't know this, but I've heard that their ratings aren't the greatest. And if as a producer and your job is on the line and your ratings are low, what are you going to do? I'll leave it right there. What are you going to do when you say, "Hey, listen, it's the bottom of the ninth inning here. Okay, we're a little stagnant. What can we do? What can we do to up the ante here a little bit?" And that's what I think. Could be wrong. But what can we do to make this a little interesting? We got 9 episodes, 10 episodes. We've had this go on. We talked to people. What can we do to make this? Can we have this person hook up with this person? Can we have this person be mad at this person? I think when you get into season 10, season 12, you have to do stuff because you're starting to rotate storylines now. When you get this long into a television show, and it's nobody's fault really. It's just when you get 10 years deep into a show, what else is there to talk about? You're going over the same damn things all the time. It gets a little stagnant. So yeah, you have to bring in new ideas and new things. And that just goes with any TV show, really, not just Vander. It goes with any reality show. You got to keep it interesting to keep the viewer, or guess what? The viewer's going to click. Let's watch something else. Because you got to keep it interesting, People aren't there to braid each other's hair. They're not sitting around being like, let's agree with everyone. Let's all agree. Nobody wants to watch that.
I would agree with that. Do you think like this is this is it? This is like the bottom of the ninth, and I am a gay man, so I don't know anything about sports, but like after last season, we had really bad, do you think this is the last ditch attempt? Like if this doesn't work.
I wish I can answer that honestly, but I don't follow the show. I hear bits and pieces from other people. I'm the wrong person to ask about that. Like I said, I try